In the year 2000, my friend moved from my town in Illinois to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Became a big-time real estate investor, made millions of dollars, was very successful. Until when? Anybody got a guess? 2008? When the crash hit. And then he started losing millions of dollars. So last year, I'm looking at the liens and judgments filed in my town, which I keep track of. And whose name pops up? His. Now, he still lives in Florida. Why is a bank in Florida filing a lien in Illinois? They're looking for assets. $3.2 million. Yeah. Now, do you understand what would have happened to my interest in that shopping center if he and I had been on the deed together? 35 years gone. That's what will happen to you in this business. And that is a depressing day. 35 years of investment and management would have been gone overnight because of something somebody else did. It's bad enough to be responsible for your own actions, isn't it? But do you really want to take on somebody else's liabilities? Don't own this stuff in your name. And certainly don't go on a deed with somebody else, because that's just financial suicide. Easier management with multiple owners. If you want to invest in people, fine, do it, but do it in a trust, and you can have multiple beneficiaries. Okay, as opposed to going on a deed with somebody. Wholesaling and contract assignments. We just talked about that, right?
Yep, that's a good one.
Am I entertaining enough?
She's laughing because we're on the deed together. We're married, right?
You're on the deed?
Together.
Suicide.
Well, I think that whether you're married or you're living together or whatever it is, you should have your assets and she should have hers, and never the twain shall meet. Because if you do something and get sued, it's going to affect your joint assets. My philosophy always was, with my wife, was if I do something stupid, I lose half, I can live off her half. You know, but I can't live off zero if they take it all. So she owned her stuff and I owned my stuff. 5, no registered agent, no franchise taxes, nothing. And a pass-through, no tax return. I mean, life doesn't get any better than this, does it? No tax return. Land trust and lease options is very close to number 11. We're going to do the same thing. When I sell an option on property, I sell an option to buy the beneficial interest in the trust, not the real estate. Just like if I sell on an installment contract, I sell the beneficial interest on an installment contract, not the real estate. Why? Because if they default, I don't want them to have an equitable interest in the property. I don't want my title clouded. And that's exactly what will happen if you don't do it this way. So it makes life much easier if they default, and in 30 days you get the property back and you rent it to somebody else or sell it to somebody else. Avoids a due on sale clause. I think we covered that. Protection against unhappy tenants. Anybody in here a landlord? You ever had an unhappy tenant? Unhappy. So last summer, I got 10 condominiums on a corner in my town, and of course, each one is in a separate trust. And in this complex, the police were being called every Saturday night. And so I investigated and found that there was one woman, one of my tenants, who was really at the heart of every problem. No matter who else was involved, she was always involved. So I deemed her the bad guy. And when her lease came up for renewal, I said, we're not going to renew your lease. She said, well, why not? I said, because the owner told me not to. You see how not owning the stuff changes the relationship between the landlord and the tenant? Now, if I'm the owner, we got an immediate confrontation. But when I said the owner told me not to, my boss, the owner, and I wasn't lying, that's true. There's not much arguing going on there. So she was unhappy, but it didn't take much of my day up to convey that information to her. So 3 days later, I get a call from my attorney's secretary that says, hey, there's a lady down here raising hell in the lobby wanting to talk to your attorney, Rick. Rick's my attorney. What do you want me to tell her? I said, throw her out. She doesn't have any right to talk to her. So what has she done? She looked up who owned the property. Rick, my attorney, I had used to be the trustee when I bought the property. He was my trustee for one day. And that's what showed in the public record, was Rick's name. So she looks him up, he's an attorney, his name's in the phone book, and she marches down to confront the owner. You see, this is the extent some tenants will go to. But she didn't have the right to talk to him, and she didn't talk to him. But my point here is that I had used Rick as a trustee to close the deal of acquiring these condos for one day. Because Rick, my attorney's gonna be at closing anyway, so I might as well use him as much as I can. So he signs all the documents, everything gets recorded in Rick's name, and the next day I fired him and I hired my guy down in Florida. So the public thinks that Rick's the owner, but the public's wrong. This is good stuff, isn't it? Does life get any better than this? This is just great stuff.
Randy,
Yes.
how many pages typically is your land trust?
My trust agreement is 34 pages. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my 5.0 version, and I'm working on 6.0. And you'll get 6.0 for free as a member of the Land Trust University. Anything, I'm always inventing new forms of stuff, and I always give that to members of the Land Trust University at no cost. Yes, sir.
Do you know about refinancing personal property after it's been in the trust and interest rates and everything like that?
Well, let me cover that real quickly. The issue is financing property held in the trust. If you're getting a loan that's qualified in the secondary market, they will not let you close directly into a trust. But you can only get 4 to 10 of those, and then you're done. Then you're forced to do what I call portfolio lending. You know, it's a bank that's going to hold the loan in-house and not selling it to the Fed. And if you're very active in this business, you're going to run out of those 4 loans anyway. But I say get the 4 loans all you can, close them in your name, and then the day afterwards you transfer out of your name and into your trust. Okay? All right. Now, naming your trust. There's no registry, so you can name your trust anything you want to, as long as you don't infringe on copyright law. If you go to your attorney on Monday and say, I heard this guy from Illinois talk about land trusts, and he said it's really important to pick a good name for your trust, your attorney's going to say, that guy's crazy. Name the trust the Randy Hughes Living Trust. Name the trust 123 Vine Street, because you're putting 123 Vine Street in the trust. That's the kind of advice and logic you get from attorneys, if you can find one, that do these trusts. I like to take it a little bit step further. I've got a whole chapter in my home study course on how to name your trust, how to give it a name and a number, and the logic behind all that. And let's just have a little bit of fun here talking about just naming your trust. So, in San Francisco, there's a whole lot of money flowing in there from China right now, isn't there? And they're buying stuff at full price, all cash. It's hard for the local people like us to buy any deals in San Francisco. If I was creating a trust in San Francisco to hold property, I might call it the Chinese Consortium of Global Investors. There's a whole lot of money flowing into South Florida right now from South America. And if I was creating a trust down there, or maybe here, I might call that trust Medellin Partners Trust. You really want to sue the Medellin Partners Trust? Those guys don't take no for an answer, do they? I could call it the East Coast, West Coast Disabled Children's Fund. I could call it the Minority Female Trust Account. I can call it anything I want. I had a student of mine call me last year. He lives in California, up in the LA area, and he said, I bought a new apartment building and I haven't closed yet. I'm kind of having a hard time coming up with a name for the trust. Can you help me? And I said, sure, this is the fun part. I said, what's your heritage? And he said, I'm Armenian. I said, what's your wife? And he said, she's Jewish. And I said, well, what if you named your trust the Armenian-Jewish, ESQ period, Global Investment Trust? Now, If you were a lawyer out trolling the waters looking for somebody to sue today, and you come across this trust name, who would you think is behind it?
Too many people.
What's the name imply? It implies attorneys, the ESQ does, doesn't it? Do you really want to sue a bunch of Jewish Armenian? I don't think so. Don't lawyers have a leg up on us? If you sue a lawyer, they don't pay legal fees. So they got us right out of the gate, don't they? I had one guy from California who was in an audience like this. He said, what if I name my trust the California Trial Lawyers Trust? I said, well, that's a little edgy. I think you might get into a copyright issue there. But the point is, you can name these trusts and number them whatever you want to. And here's some of the logic I give you in the course. I called my local recorder's office and I said, how many characters can you type out when you're entering the name on the deed in your computer? And she said 32. I said, thank you very much. And from then on, all my trusts have more than 32 characters in the name. Why is that?
So, you know, there's more complicated.
So it gets truncated. So if you look it up online, you're too lazy to go over and pull the deed and look at it. And you look it up online and you prepare a lawsuit against it, you're suing the wrong entity. You don't have a complete name. This is fun stuff. I mean, this is what makes real estate exciting and dangerous. So all my names have more than 33 characters, yeah. So it gets truncated whenever they enter it in the computer. Bonus reason 13, maximize your bargaining power. You've all heard of the Walt Disney story, how he acquired property for Disney World. He did all that with land trusts. He had hundreds of land trusts created. He assembled all this acreage, and then when he had everything, he had all of the trustees of those hundreds of trusts deed into one big land trust, which is now Disney World. Now you guys can do the same thing on a smaller scale. So if you own, let's say there's a corner in your town where it's got 3 properties on the corner, and you think, boy, if I could get all 3 of those, the value's going to go up. And if you buy one in your name, you know the next 2 guys are going to know you're coming, right? But if you buy one in this trustee's name and one in this trustee's name, it doesn't look like what's going on is going on, right? So it gives you anonymity in buying property. So what are you going to do? What's at risk here is your future, your family's future, college education, your lifestyle is all based on retaining this stuff that you're acquiring. You're in a rising market here in California, aren't you? Aren't values going up? Yeah. So that means your net worth is going up every single day. So you need to learn how to protect it. And that's what I'm here for. So I do give you access online to the Land Trust University. You can take, there's videos, you can take the course, I quiz you, you can get a grade on your information, you can compare it to other students. So it's a simple, proven process. You just fill in the blank, you hit print, and at no cost you're going to be creating trusts. All day, every day, for the rest of your life, at no cost. This is another testimonial we can't play, but this is Teresa in Florida who had taken my home study course, and she was interested in protecting her assets. And sometimes I used to teach a lot more classes than I do now, but I usually teach one live course per year. But what's really cool about the home study course is that I recorded on DVDs me teaching this material. Going through the course guide, going through the forms. I had 2 cameramen come in, they did it very professionally, so you can watch me teach this material. There's an audio CD in here of the same seminar, so you can listen to it in your car. And then there's a form CD. So it's very, very organized.
So is all that CDs? You don't have like just a podcast or something you can put on your phone? You have to
You can go to the Land Trust University website and see the same CDs. The DVDs, I'm sorry. You can watch me on the Land Trust University, or you can pop that in your own computer and watch it. But that's the benefit of the Land Trust University, is you get to do it online. There's everything you get in the package in the one-day seminar. You get the trust agreement, the deed, you get all the forms you're ever gonna need, all the administrative forms, how to change a trustee, change a beneficiary, if you want a director or not, we haven't even talked about that. All the files are in Microsoft Word or PDF format. And if you go out and if you buy all this stuff separately, it's gonna cost you about, probably can't do that, $2,388. I'd give it away. I might as well pay you to take it for $525. You get it all, including a one-year membership in the Land Trust University. See, that's right there, it's $797. Does anybody want me to autograph it? I'll be glad to autograph it. Probably won't increase the value much now, but I don't plan on being around forever. And so when I go to that great trusteeship in the sky, then the value will jump, because you'll have a signed autograph homestead course from Mr. Land Trust. Yes, you had a
Do you
question?
have any restrictions on sharing it with family and friends?
No, no. If you want to copy it and share it with your family and friends, I encourage you to do that, actually, because, like I said, I have two daughters. They're both married. I forced both of them and my son-in-laws to attend both my basic live seminar and my advanced seminar, so they knew what Dad was doing. You know, they need to understand that when I kick, how this stuff's going to flow and how it'll affect them.
So if
They
we
like
it's like, you know, Dan over here and you want to share, how would you feel that?
Oh, as far as sharing with Dan, no, you can't do that.
Sorry, it's okay. We just knocked that
Well,
close again.
you see, the benefit is, the Land Trust University membership, I can only give you one, you know. So if you guys split the course, only one of you get the membership. And it's so cheap, you might as well do it, because the membership's worth more than the course in a way.
So, I'm sorry, I have a question. So, I buy the beneficial interest in the land trust from you,
Yes.
but it's not recorded or anything. What's to prevent you from going and selling that same beneficial interest to somebody else?
Good question. What's to prevent me from selling the beneficial interest to somebody else after I've already sold it to Glenn?
Glenn.
And that is that the trustee has to acknowledge that assignment, which means the trustee says, oh, I got a new boss.
The trustee is dead.
Well, no, we're talking about a live trustee at this
Okay.
point. You need a live trustee to sign that acknowledgement saying he's got a new boss, a new beneficiary's in town. And so now the trustee can't do anything until the new beneficiary directs him to do so in writing.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are checks and balances. These trusts wouldn't have been used for the last 2,000 years if they hadn't had these checks and balances in there.
The one part that makes me nervous is the property tax, because that's such a big savings. We have such a greedy tax collector in this area. So if they find out, you know, that you've done this trust thing, the trust, they're gonna, can that be questioned as a transfer of property?
Well, I mean, they can question it, but I mean, it's an official transfer of the beneficial interest of personal property, but not of the real estate. Now, they'll never know because it's not recorded. So it's not possible to find out an unrecorded transaction. If everybody would pull this form out that Sasha's handed out to you. I brought a few home study courses with me. I brought one advanced course if anybody has an interest. If you'd fill this out, give it to Sasha, she'll process it for you, and you can take the home study course home with you today. Then I'll email you the Land Trust University portal, so you can get into that and start learning that way. I do have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you get this today and you get it home and it's, for whatever reason, it's not what I represented, send it back to me. I'll give you a full refund with no questions asked. Okay? So you fill out the form and you get to take the home study home with you today. I will stay after for any questions you might have. Any last minute questions? How are we doing on time here?
Yeah, you're good.
We're good?
Yeah,
We
you
can take
got a
a few,
little more time if you need some
maybe 5 minutes or so.
questions.
Have any more questions? Yes, sir.
Well, I have a property that I own with my former wife, and we're going to sell it, but I'm looking for a way to finish the project. So if I wanted to do a land trust there, and she's gonna
she's gonna be what, off?
She would be off of it, you know, because right now we own it, but if I buy her out, so would I wanna do the land trust with her?
Yeah, you're both on the deed right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd want a deed from both of you to your trust, and then you'd be the beneficiary of the trust.
And we would wanna do that before we sell it?
I would, I would get it out of my name Monday morning, just from a liability standpoint. Let alone the privacy element, but yeah, I mean, would it cost you, what, $35 to record a deed?
Because we still own the property together, if she said no, could I still do it in my name?
No. Yeah, you'd have to have it. See, that's another reason we use these trusts, you know, if you go on a deed with somebody, you better agree on things in the future or nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. I had, 15 years ago, I sold a property that my family was in. And 6 months after closing, I got a letter from a lawyer that said the buyer had to replace a bunch of things in the house. And if I just sent them a check for $8,000, they would not sue me. Has anybody ever gotten a letter like that? I mean, this is after closing. I didn't think I was responsible for maintenance after closing. What do we call this in America? It's a shakedown. It happens every day, and they make tons of money doing this. They don't, you send out letters and they get checks for $8,000 because it intimidates people. Well, I wasn't intimidated. I sent them a letter back and I said, you must have mistaken me as the owner. Did you see my name on anything? Did you see it on the deed, on the HUD-1, on the termite report, on the listing agreement? He sent a letter back to me and said, well, no, but my client told me you lived in the house. Well, some people live in houses they don't own in America, right?
Yeah.
And he went on to say, if you'll just tell us who the owner was, we'll agree not to sue you. He's still Mr. Tough Guy, you know? So I sent him a letter back and I said, I think the owner of the property was some kind of a land trust. I'm not quite sure how they work, but you know, I wish you a lot of luck. I hope you can find the owner. And you know what? Never got a letter back. Never got a letter back. So what happened? He went to his client and he said, well, Bob, this sucker isn't going to be as easy to get as the last sucker we got. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to find out who the owner is and look after this trust and spend some money? Or do you want to go after the low-hanging fruit, which is another person who doesn't own property in a trust that owns it in their name? And they obviously went for the low-hanging fruit. They went after somebody who owns real estate in their name. So just by having that, you see, land trusts, if you go talk to your lawyer, he's going to say land trusts doesn't have the asset protection. And basically that's true. It's not designed as an asset protection tool. It's designed as a privacy tool. But the first step in asset protection is privacy.
Yeah.
And just that example, that real life example, tells you how it saved me from a lawsuit just because I didn't own it in my name. Isn't that funny how that works? Now I got story after story after story like that will save you lots of sleepless nights, let alone legal fees. Just use these trusts. Don't own this stuff in your name, please. Okay? Any last minute questions before we break?
You get a lot of attorneys who like to sue people signing up for your class, so they know how to deal with you.
I do have a lot of attorneys that take my class. In fact, I've got a testimonial we're working on putting on my website right now from an attorney in California who I spoke, and he was in a room like this, and I told him, and I won't go into detail because we're out of time here, but a technique that I'm using right now with Native American Indians as my trustee. And he came up after the class and he said, I got to give you a testimony. He said, Randy, my business is tracking assets. That's all I do all day, every day, is I go after people's assets. And he said, what you just described to me, I can't do. I can't break it. Because you can't sue Native American Indians in state court. You know that? There's federal government law, there's Indian law, and there's state law. It's called sovereignty.
I get a little charity in me, I learn how much I need.
So I'm doing cutting edge stuff here. Nobody on planet Earth is doing what I'm doing. I want to teach you. So please take a home study course. Be proactive in this, and get that membership in the Land Trust University. You'll be glad you did. So fill out your form. Go back and see Sasha. I'll be here for questions, and I'll stick around for lunch too in case you want to ask questions over lunch. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Fantastic. I guarantee you, if you're thinking about waiting and buying it later, you won't get the university thing, and you're gonna have questions, I guarantee you. This stuff is like, I need help. So what we're gonna do is we're going to have a couple more little announcements here.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to let everyone know, we went ahead and bought pizza for everyone. They're gonna be bringing it over at 1 o'clock, and we have plenty of pizza for everybody, whether you're a meat lover, eater, or a vegetarian, we got a pizza for you. So stick around, they're bringing it at 1 o'clock, so it's about 25 minutes from now. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to get to know each other and to talk to the exhibitors that we have outside. I'd like to let someone know that Fred from Indiana came all the way from Indiana. Fred, where are you? Is he in the room? There you are. Stand up. He's joining us from Fort Wayne, Indiana, folks.
wow.
Let's give him a So we do have people from all over the country here, so get to know one another and give your business cards out and just network and mingle. Dan, do you have
Thank you
any
so much.
questions?
Thank you, Linda. So yeah, we're gonna take a little break, we're gonna have some food, what time we
1
start?
o'clock.
1 o'clock?
Well, the food comes at 1.
But 1:30 we
Yeah.
start. So we'll be back here at 1:30, so don't get lost, hang
The
around.
food's gonna be right here too.
Who's gonna be
Eat it in
here,
here.
and all the vendors that are speaking, that have spoken, are going to speak, will be here, so this is your time to talk to them, get more information, you know, whatever you need, that's what we're here for. Thanks.
Take care.